Tonight, rapper Getz pleads guilty to causing death by dangerous driving. He was an artist at the top of his game, winning MOBO Awards and Mercury Prize nominations. Now he's facing jail. Also ahead. Get ready to pay more to ride the tube. The Mayor confirms the national rail fare freeze doesn't apply to the Underground. The Great Christmas Con, how fraudsters used AI to build a copycat version of a Chiswick toy store's website.
So it'd be a few days after they've paid, or they've suddenly thought it's suspicious.
And Paddington brings the bare necessities as the station marks 200 years of the railway. Good evening. He was at the peak of a successful music career, but today award-winning rapper Getz pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving. The family of the Nepalese student who was killed in the collision in Ilford last October was at the Old Bailey to see Getz appear via video link from Pentonville Prison. The 41-year-old, whose real name is Justin Clark Samuel, also pleaded guilty to driving dangerously before the crash on that fatal night. The two times Mercury Prize nominee and MOBO winner will be sentenced in February. Kath O'Patter was in court and sent this report.
You may know his face, you may know his name. Justin Clark Samuel, aka Getz. An award-winning rapper, Netflix actor.
He gave me a device that's in my back pocket.
Now guilty of killing a man. It was on this road in Ilford in October when a hit-and-run took place. The victim, 20-year-old Eubin Tamang, had arrived in London for a visit. On Redbridge Lane East, he looked left and right before crossing. Barely feet on the ground, and he was hit by Getz's speeding car. Getz was driving along this road at high speeds, well above the speed limit. So fast, in fact, that when he hit Eubin Tamang, Eubin was flung around 60 feet in the air. As for Getz, he didn't stop. He carried on driving straight home. This afternoon, Eubin Tamang's parents left court after hearing Getz's guilty pleas. They've flown all the way from Nepal, and they'll return without their son.
And Kath, this isn't quite over yet, is it?
No. He's got his sentencing coming up, as you always do in these cases. But before that, we'll get to that later. Before that, he's been banned from driving immediately. Getz is still in custody, so there's very little chance of him breaking that ban. There's also 2 additional charges of dangerous driving and causing death by careless driving when over the limits for alcohol. Those will be dealt with at his next court appearance. Back to sentencing. That's due to happen next February. We don't know what it will be, but given the nature of this crime, it's bound to involve prison time. OK,
Kath, thanks very much indeed for that update. The Prime Minister was in a jovial mood today, celebrating McLaren's Formula One success at the team's HQ in Woking. Sir Keir Starmer used the opportunity to push for more nationwide apprenticeships as part of an investment in sectors such as engineering, AI and hospitality to tackle youth unemployment. He also met up with our political correspondent Simon Harris. They discussed his future in Number 10 and his thoughts on Lando Norris becoming Britain's latest success story.
3,000 miles from Abu Dhabi, the McLaren headquarters in Woking was still buzzing. This is the home not just of the triumphant Formula One team, but also the production line where high-end supercars are built. And for the firm's apprentices, it's been a thrilling 24 hours.
Too much to put into words. Yeah, I rushed home to watch the race yesterday. It was great.
Brilliant to see Lando win. It's great to see what McLaren does on the track.
A bit nail-biting at times, but yeah, it's amazing that we've got another Drivers' Championship.
Energy is high. Everyone's been like, "Go on, lads, it's our team." That.
Lando Norris's 3rd place in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was enough to give him the 2025 Formula One Drivers' World Championship.
First of all, I want to say a big thanks to my guys, everyone in McLaren. My parents, I'm not crying.
Norris's emotional reaction was at the forefront of Sir Keir Starmer's mind when he addressed workers at the McLaren factory.
I thought the way in which he wanted to thank the whole of his team was really important, because he was emphasising that he's the person obviously doing the racing, but that can't happen without the whole McLaren team at every level working with him and for him.
The Prime Minister could be forgiven for wishing that sentiment was shared by his cabinet after another weekend of fevered speculation about a leadership challenge. How angry does this talk about plotting make you?
I am absolutely focused on the one thing that matters to me, which is changing this country for the better. I'm very happy to be out and about this morning, not talking about internal politics of the Labour Party, but talking about what we're doing for young people.
The Prime Minister was in Woking to announce a government ambition to encourage another 50,000 apprenticeships in the UK over the next 3 years. McLaren is a big part of the local economy.
We in automotive employ 2,500 people. If you multiply what's in the supply chain in the UK, it's probably fivefold the 2,500. And 90% of what we produce goes abroad. That's great for Surrey, but it's also fabulous for the UK.
For its next intake of apprentices, the company has already had 21,000 job applications. Simon Harris, ITV News, Woking.
Now get ready to pay more to ride the tube next year. The Mayor's confirmed the national rail fare freeze announced in the budget won't mean a freeze for TfL fares from next March. Well, Sangeeta Kandola's outside Russell Square. Sangeeta, this is bad news for the millions who rely on the Underground.
Well, yes, the Londoners were hoping for a freeze in fares, but that is not looking likely. Now, there's an indication the Mayor will raise TfL fares by inflation-busting 5.8% in March. Now, looking at the maths, it could mean typical fares will rise by between 5 and 20 pence or more. That's depending on when and where you are travelling. For example, a zone 1 to 6 peak fare from Baker Street to Uxbridge could see an increase from £5.80 to £6.15. So why the increase and not a freeze? Well, it is all down to the government's £2.2 billion in funding secured by the Mayor in the Chancellor's spending review back in June. But there was a major condition, and that was that fares would rise equivalent to 1 percentage point above inflation. Now, the Tories say that Labour deal has left commuters in London out of pocket.
While the rest of the country is going to enjoy having their fares frozen, Londoners are once again being hit with an inflation-busting fare increase. This is just going to make London even more expensive to live, work and raise a family. London is the engine of the UK economy, and we can't keep pricing low and middle earners out of our capital.
Well, in a statement, TfL and the Mayor say they are currently in close conversation with the government about future fares, and they will be decided, they say, in due course.
OK, Sangeeta, thanks very much indeed for that. Charlton Athletic have paid tribute to a lifelong fan who died after falling ill during their clash against Portsmouth on Saturday. Norman Barker, affectionately known as Headphones Norm, was a season ticket holder for more than 35 years. In a statement, the club said he will be truly missed by everyone. A minute's applause is planned before tomorrow night's game against Middlesbrough. A 24-year-old man and 23-year-old woman are being questioned by police after more than 20 people, including a 3-year-old child, were pepper sprayed during an attempted robbery at Heathrow. A third person was arrested close to the scene on Sunday on suspicion of robbery and assault and has been released under investigation. 5 people were taken to hospital, all of whom have since been discharged. Former Radio 1 DJ Tim Westwood has pleaded not guilty at Southwark Crown Court to multiple sex offences, including rape and sexual assault. The 68-year-old's charges relate to 7 women dating back to 1983, including 3 indecent assaults at the BBC studios in the 1990s. A provisional trial date's been set for January 2027. Next tonight, Christmas is coming, and with it, a warning not to become a victim of fraud. Nearly half of consumers say they've been targeted by scammers in the last year, with online fraudsters using AI to steal money. And in one toy store in Chiswick's case, they became victims when a copycat website was set up under their name to con customers out of cash. Our consumer editor, Chris Choi, has more.
A toy shop in Chiswick, West London, where they expected to be busy this Christmas, but not like this.
Good morning, Snapdragon.
Answering phone calls from across the UK from people who've been deceived by festive fraudsters.
Somebody has set up a bogus website using our location and landline number to target children and toys, and then go to the parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles when they thought, oh, I found it, I can get it for you. That's really nasty.
Your phone has been going again and again with people from all over the country who've fallen for this fake.
Lots of them are very sad because, you know, they have saved up.
Across London and the South East, trading standards officers are warning that while we're distracted by festive plans, fraudsters are getting busy too. And scam experts say AI means the risk is rising.
AI is certainly making this much more complex and much more complicated for consumers. Deep fake imagery, phishing, fake videos and voices is making it much harder to spot a fraudulent scam.
Back in Chiswick, the owner of this toy shop is now giving out anti-scam advice to consumers across the country. She's on a Christmas mission against the fraudsters.
Do your research because, I mean, check Trustpilot, ring that landline number, look on all the other things and see if there are good reviews or bad reviews. Really check it out. Also, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So if it is that good a deal, or they're the only person in the whole of the country that has got it, have they really got it?
It's a time for smiles and goodwill, but AI experts warn that in this season for giving, festive fraudsters are taking just as much as they can. Chris Choi, ITV News.
Still to come on the programme.
I am trying to solve, once and for all, a question that has puzzled humankind throughout the ages.
There's a doctor in the house, Chris Van Tulleken, on bringing Operation Ouch to the London stage.
And I'm at Paddington Station with Paddington celebrating 200 years of the railways.
But first, when councillors made the decision to close the Burnham Centre near Slough back in September, there were cries of shame on you from the public gallery. The facility has long been a haven for parents in the area who have grown-up children with complex needs. The council says the decision was democratic and part of a reorganisation of services, but campaigners are seeking a judicial review and an injunction to prevent its closure, as Toby Sadler now reports.
Save Burnham Shortbreak Centre!
The centre is a lifeline for these families. It allows full-time carers to have a few hours to themselves, and for their loved ones, it's a home from home. Neil's been coming here every day for 40 years.
I like it here. I've got friends.
He told me how much he loved the place, the staff and the friends he's made. His mum Isabel is adamant no other centre comes close to it.
The calibre of the staff, the time and service, the knowledge of the members, and Neil has friends here.
Buckinghamshire Council's Conservative Cabinet voted to close Burnham Shortbreak Centre in September.
Those recommendations with that slight amendment are approved.
Shame on all of you.
Thank you.
You say you care about the most vulnerable people in our city.
Can you pause the webcast, please?
That voice of protest belongs to Tracy Lassiter. Her son Jack's been using the centre for almost a decade.
Yeah, I just felt that they needed to be called out. It was shameful that they'd made a decision to close a perfectly decent day centre. They told us this was about better lives for my son, but it's about money. That's all it's about.
Hazel Howe is leading the campaign to stop the closure. She's fighting for a judicial review to reverse the decision. Her son Thomas is a regular here.
It's the wrong decision. Targeting the most vulnerable people in our communities is shameful, really shameful. This has led throughout this 14 months now, parents have now been diagnosed with depression, PTS, suicidal thoughts, anxiety.
Buckinghamshire Council gave us a statement saying they can't comment on an ongoing legal process, but did defend the decision to close this centre. They said it was done in a democratic and transparent way, and that in the 15-week consultation period, they made sure that the families of the people who use this centre were right at the centre of it, and that their considerations were taken into account when the decision was made. Not persuaded, the families fight on. First, they want an injunction to stop the council demolishing the site, before their case goes to court. Toby Sadler, ITV News.
Now, you'll know my guest tonight as part of TV's favourite doctor duo. Chris and Zaan van Tulleken are bringing their madcap show, Operation Ouch, back to London for a limited run, starting at the Royal Festival Hall 2 weeks from today. And before we speak to Dr. Chris, here's a bit of both of them in action.
Oxygen is used in chemical reactions in your body to create energy. You need energy for everything you do. Walking, eating, and skipping. Yes, Zaan. So, do you want to see how oxygen helps to make energy? Yes, please. Good. Let's blow stuff up.
Dr. Chris, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming in. You really get to the nitty-gritty in all these shows, don't you?
We do. We try and make sure that we are pitching the show so that a 5-year-old can enjoy it, but also we know lots of medical parents watch it with their kids. And this is true of the live audience as well. We hope that if a retired professor of medicine who's a grandparent is bringing grandchildren, they will learn something as well. That's our promise to them.
Exactly, and they'll let you know if it's not accurate as well. So just make sure.
Oh yeah, they're very quick to send that email.
So this show, it's going to be quite grisly as well, is it, I hear?
Hopefully not grisly. This is a show for anyone who loves science, medicine, lasers, dinosaurs. We're on a quest for the Jurassic fart, genetic engineering. We're doing live nasopharyngeal endoscopy. So unless you're an ENT surgeon, you are going to see views of the human body that you have never seen before. There's magic. Basically, I'm the victim of Zaan's genetic engineering. And without giving too much away, I may become a dinosaur at some point.
That sounds amazing. The kids love all this stuff, don't they?
They do. And what we're trying to do with the live show, because the audience is there and it's fun to play with them. A lot of Operation Ouch is not just science and medicine. We're trying to help kids understand their emotional world as well. So a big theme in this show is helping kids deal with embarrassment, which is the emotion that shapes so much of people's childhood. And so the fart motif is a way of getting into embarrassment and helping kids manage that and deal with it and use it in an appropriate way.
Oh, that's brilliant. Because, I mean, teaching science in schools, there's so much debate about whether it's too dry or too boring. And this is the whole thing, isn't it? Make it exciting and they'll like it.
Someone asked me how we sort of separated the science from the jokes. And I think the science and the jokes are all entangled like that. So every single line of the show we have tried to make both humorous and educational, and there is a narrative. I think you can't disentangle, particularly science and medicine, from narrative and humour and interest. The second it becomes boring, I think that's a mistake. And I do the same thing with my medical students at the hospital. You know, you've got to treat everyone the same.
You work at UCL, don't you? So are you still treating patients?
I'm an NHS doctor 1 day a week, and I'm a professor at UCL where I study food and nutrition in the food system.
So you get everything. You've got a good variety of life. I love it. But when you're doing these live shows, is that more nerve-wracking? Because can things go wrong?
Every single show, something unexpected will happen, and that is the joy of live performance, is trying to, you can see you're having to entertain that 5-year-old, that 95-year-old, everyone in between.
Yeah.
And one of the pitches is, of course, parents are having a tough time over Christmas. If they just want us to look after their kids for an hour and 20 minutes, if they want to come and quietly send emails, that is absolutely fine. They can sit there.
I love that.
Hopefully they won't.
There must be a way of making kind of, adult health. You can appeal to adults as well. Can we make that kind of interesting? A lot of people don't know about things like menopause, for example, do they?
Menopause might be the one thing, Carolyn, that we have not covered on Operation Ouch, but we may do Series 15, and I will put it to the production team.
Brilliant. Oh, well, Operation Ouch is at Festival Hall on the 22nd of December till the 2nd of January. Good luck with that run. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Now, a reminder of our main stories in London tonight. Award-winning rapper Getz has pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving. The 41-year-old, whose real name is Justin Clark Samuel, also pleaded guilty to driving dangerously before the collision that killed a student in Ilford in October. And the Mayor has confirmed the national rail fare freeze announced in the budget won't mean a freeze for TfL fares from next March. Now, you may remember we were joined by Pauline Quirk's son Charlie in the studio recently, telling us about his walk for Alzheimer's Research UK after his mum's dementia diagnosis. He'll be covering 140 kilometres in 5 days, and he set off today in Chigwell, where Birds of a Feather was filmed, with a few celebrity friends joining him too. We caught up with him a little earlier for a progress report.
The beginning was so overwhelming, just the love and support, we've had. And today's been tough. I've had some friends join, which has been amazing, but you end up walking quicker than I expected. So, yeah, the body's feeling it already, I'll be honest. But all the messages we've had of support, that's what's going to keep me going for me and, for my mum and my family.
It's the way forward, and it's making people aware of not only what the illness does to the person, but also how it affects the people that care for them.
Primarily is, to raise awareness for the disease and for Alzheimer's Research UK, because all the funding and all the hard work they do really is going to get us nearer to a cure. So, with my mum's diagnosis and us going public, we thought this was a great way to raise awareness and to raise vital funds for a charity that are doing so much to change lives. So that was the primary reason. Every step I take is hopefully a step closer to a cure, and by doing that, people are putting in the hard-earned money we've seen in the donations, which is every penny of that goes to research, and that is, vital for us to find a cure. So, yeah, it's a long way to go, but yeah, I think it's going to be quite an incredible journey. I think the numbers we're at now is astronomical, and every penny that people put towards my donation link, which is charliestrek.org, really does make a massive difference. So yeah, just a thank you to everyone that's supporting. I'm doing it for my mum, and I'm doing it for everyone else that's in a similar situation as my mum and as our family. So yeah, hopefully I'm making my mum proud and millions of people across the country proud for what they're going through as well.
Oh, best of luck to him, and we'll be keeping tabs on Charlie's progress all this week. But what will the weather be like? Here's Sally to tell us.
Come rain or shine, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello there, a very good evening to you. Hope you had a lovely start to the week. It's like Christmas dinner here, isn't it, at Rob's Bird Feeder? They must be eating something good. The weather, not quite so good. It's wet and windy tonight as we get the edge of Storm Bram, named by the Irish Met Office, heading our way. Tomorrow we're left with a showery and blustery day at times, but drier and brighter into Wednesday. I want to show you the pressure chart because you can see Bram there, and you can also see that we are getting the edge of it, so not the worst of the weather, but it will still be a bit unpleasant. And then into Wednesday, a little bit of a ridge of high pressure means the weather just settles down a touch. So on with the detail. As we go through this evening, that rain is going to start arriving and the winds pick up too. It's not as bad rain-wise in the east, but gradually it does make its way in that direction. So pretty unpleasant by the end of the night, but again, staying mild tonight. Now, as we go into tomorrow morning, the worst of that edges away pretty early on. We're left with some drier conditions, although still the risk of some rain, but the second front comes in as we go through the day and further showers head our way, and it's blustery again. So a bit of a conundrum for the umbrella. You'll need it for the rain, but it might play havoc in the wind. But it will be mild, highs of 14 to 15 degrees. Good news for the late afternoon, evening. That rain edges off out of the way, and we're left with a drier end to the night and into Wednesday as well. So if you've got plans for Wednesday, you're looking at the moment at a decent day with a bit of sunshine in the mix as well. Cloudier for Thursday, and then starting to turn more unsettled as we go towards the end of the week. We will, of course, keep you posted. Take care. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Now, there was a surprise visitor to London Paddington today, and the presence of marmalade sandwiches is probably the only clue you need. The bear that shares the station's name wasn't the only special arrival. An exhibition train called Inspiration pulled into Platform 8 this morning to celebrate 200 years of the railway. It'll be in the capital all week, and its themed carriages will take visitors on a journey through rail history and future innovation. Rags Martel reports.
So this is where we board the train?
Step aboard 200 years of railway. All packed
into a single train.
We're really lucky this week at Paddington Station to have the Inspiration, the Railway 200 train with us. And we're celebrating 200 years of railway history. There's 4 carriages to explore, all really interactive, all really interesting, each looking at a different era of the railway.
Carriage by carriage, the train rolls through Britain's leap from steam power all the way through to electric speeds and beyond.
So this is our interactive table. So it's sand, and you can mould and make mountains and move the railway tracks, and our little train will move along as you build your own model railway.
For me, the exciting bit is...
And in the shadow of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, London transformed after 2 centuries of rail.
Well, fundamentally, you wouldn't have London without the Underground. And on that side of Paddington, you've actually got where the first Underground railway in the world opened in 1863. That side of Paddington, you've got the Elizabeth line, which is the newest line in London. In the centre, you've got the magnificent Paddington Station, built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. He built railways across the UK, the first tunnel under the Thames to be used by an underground railway. And he's here today overseeing the activities that are going on this week at Paddington.
Paddington Bear also put in an appearance, joining in the celebrations.
And this train is named after the first female train driver, Karen Harrison, who only started driving them as late as 1979.
Britain's rail journey began in 1825 with the opening of the Stockton and Darlington line, seen here celebrating its 200-year anniversary in September. And from that chugging hiss to the more modern Elizabeth line, which is now the country's busiest.
Should we be more grateful about the railways?
I think when customers have a bad day and a bad service, they are right to complain, right to have a grump. But, you know, most of the time, the railway gets you where you need to go.
It is a miracle this incredible machine moves millions and millions of us with relatively few faults. You might think there are lots of faults, but actually, for something so massive, of so many billion moving parts, I think it's a miracle. It all works together, and I'm so grateful for all the staff who make it happen.
Happy birthday, the railway.
Yeah, indeed.
This rail exhibition can be found on Platform 8 until Saturday. Rags Martel, ITV News, Paddington.
And that's it from us. The evening news is next with Mary, but from all of us here, enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.